Hey guys, it's Dan, and it was me. I don't know why I introduced myself, but I wanted to make a video about something that's kind of been bothering me, or not bothering me, just been mulling it over, I guess, for the last few weeks or longer. Um, it's about it's about transition and living as a trans man or living as a butch female, and kind of the line between that and how I decided to go the direction that I've gone in. Um, and I guess what prompted me to think about this or really kind of dig into it is the realization that there are members in the LG, mostly the L community, who really diss transition and trans men, and go so far to even say that they're just as ignorant as some people in the straight community, to say that it's impossible to transition or it's not real, or I don't know, they hate trans men. And I don't understand how a community that understands discrimination could be so ignorant and hateful toward someone in that same spectrum but who's different. I guess there's just a lot of shitty people in the world. I don't know. um, but I was thinking about the difference between being butch and being trans, and there's so many things to consider. Like, being masculine doesn't equate to being a man all the time. You can be a masculine female. You can be a feminine man. You can be so many variations, and it's all okay. Uh, the thing that worries me, um, well, some people see transition as a fad, and that a lot of young kids, I say kids, teenagers, whatever, think that they're trans or transition because they feel, and I can't really talk about MTFs because I don't know as much, but FTMs, they think they need to transition because they're masculine, and so they feel that they must be trans. And who am I to say what their truth is? But I do think that there's probably some of them are really trans and they really should transition, and some of them maybe are not, you know. But who are you to tell people what to do? If I had someone personally ask me who was young, really young, because I mean, when you're in your 20s and 30s, I think you should know what's good for you by then. But as a teenager, it's a little more sketchy because there's a lot going on in your life. There's a lot of growing up and changing and turmoil and teenage angst, that might work itself out as you get older, or it might not, you know. Um, so if I knew someone who wasn't sure, I would say to wait and see, wait and see, as you grow up. Because there are a lot of changes that happen that are irreversible. But then again, is that bad? Say you are on T, and then you decide it's not for you. So what? You're gonna be a masculine female. You know what I mean? You'll have a cool low voice, and you might have to shave. It's not the end of the world, you know? People act like it's this huge, huge thing, and it is, but it isn't. You're still a person, whatever gender you identify with, or if you choose not to identify with a gender, which some people do. I love that there's it's not black and white. I love that there's such a gray area. Um, I wish that people wouldn't be so ignorant of that. Um, but anyhow, for me, I did want to talk about why I transitioned and why I didn't live as a butch female. Um, and there are a lot of reasons. I was in my past life. I lived to please others. I dressed and acted and identified in ways to make other people like me. I, I did what I thought would please people. Um, you know, and when I was younger, it was trying to please my parents and trying to please the church and trying to, fit into that very feminine, straight, typical female role. And I sucked at it. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't good at it because I couldn't completely fit in at all. And then when I broke away somewhat and came out with my sexual orientation, that it was not men that I liked, it was women, um, I broke away somewhat, but I was still trying to please other women. I was dressing in ways that I thought they would like and looking like the female I thought they would want to date. Okay, had a phone call. Um, so anyhow, I was, uh, where was I at? Oh yes, I was identifying as a lesbian, and especially when I first came out as a lesbian, I was in a long-term relationship for well over a year. Um, but then when I was out, especially when I was out just dating random people, I tried not to be too masculine, and I tried to, because there are like ads and stuff online for lesbian dating where no butches allowed, you know. So I was like, oh shit, don't want to be that. Um, I hate it that there's there is discrimination against butch lesbians, which I think maybe scares some masculine women into the thought that they should transition to escape that. Um, but when you transition, there's discrimination there too, so it's ridiculous. But anyhow, back to my story. Um, so yeah, I was, I had my hair longer and all this stuff to try to be attractive to people and to make them happy and make them like me. And luckily for me, I met my partner who made me realize, and it wasn't just her, because leading up to her, I was discovering that there are women out there who appreciate and even seek out masculinity. So that helped me to not be so scared to show it. And when I met her, she really helped me understand that I could be myself completely, uh, with no judgment, and I was really able to um, just let myself go. Let myself be who I am, and that's when I discovered, you know, the world of transition, and I decided to transition, instead of just being a butch female, because it wasn't it wasn't that I wasn't an attractive female, because I, back in the day I was, um, but I may have looked normal to everyone, I may have looked good, but I didn't recognize myself. And no matter how masculine I dressed or did my hair or anything, I didn't feel right. I was in great shape. I was, playing roller derby and strong and whatnot. So it wasn't like, if I was a female, I would have been really happy with my body. It wasn't like there was things that I wanted to change, um, just because maybe I was, overweight, or I could change that, or I thought I was too short or tall, or, it was totally the only things I didn't like about my body were the female characteristics. Having breast did not feel right. Having, hips and an ass did felt terrible, and things that other people liked just because they liked them, they didn't seem right on me. Um, and to someone who's not trans, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. But for me, I knew that I belonged with a flat chest. I belonged with broad shoulders. I belonged, with muscular arms and hairy legs and hairy arms and a rough face, and all those were what I knew fit me, the real me. And no matter how masculine I became, that wasn't going to happen without hormones and surgery. And so, as much of a risk as it was to transition, as much as I knew that I could lose family members and friends, my job, who knew, anything, I knew it's what I needed to be me. And so I took those steps to transition. And transition has been the right thing for me. Um, I'm finally able to look in the mirror and love myself and what I see. Um, would it be nice if I could have been able to get to that place in my life without transitioning? Hell yeah. And if you can be happy with yourself and at home in who you are without having to take hormones and go through surgeries, yeah. Do that. Because it's a hard road. And there are a lot of things about being trans that are difficult. You're never going to have the uh, body that you feel that you should have been born with. You're always going to have to take hormones. Um, Surgeries are expensive. They're painful. They take a toll on your body. Um, but that's what I need to do to be happy in this life, and you only get one. Maybe you get more, but this is the one that I know I've got for sure. Um, so yeah, I mean, here I am, 3/4 of the way through my transition. Um, I know it was the right thing to do for me. Uh, I have, I'm still the same person. I still am a feminist. I still have respect for women who live butch lives. Uh, I wish they would, and there are a lot of butch women who don't hate trans men, and there are a lot of trans men who don't hate butch women. I don't know why there has to be a divide. You know, you can be masculine and not be trans. You can be feminine almost and be trans, I bet you. Yeah, there are feminine trans men out there, and it's all good. Um, that was basically all I kind of had to say. Uh, I'm always interested in other people's points of view on this. Like, I feel like stopping lesbians on the street and asking them what they think because I'm so curious um, what the general point of view is. You know, I think that there's a few individuals who yell really loud, and so you think that that's the general point of view, but it might not be. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it off there, guys.